Yeah, I am choosing violence when it comes to the San Francisco 49ers losing the Super Bowl, because I feel like they did lose the Super Bowl. And I say that with all disrespect intended for Kansas City. Um, what was Kyle Shanahan doing? And no, I don't care that he took the kickoff in overtime. What was Kyle Shanahan doing, calling all of those, pass plays and cutesy, fartsy little, trickery to start the third quarter? I feel like the San Francisco 49ers lost the Super Bowl to the Kansas City Chiefs because Kyle Shanahan was a terrible play caller in the second half.
Yeah, they completely got away from what they do best, which is getting their guys in time and space and allowing them to make plays. I mean, it really is not that difficult of a formula. You get a good start out of Brock Purdy. You are playing good defense, like you're in a great way. And
you have a great halftime show from Usher.
Yeah, like everything's rolling. And then the third quarter comes out and you want to pass and you want to do all these things that are not you, that maybe you have in the playbook, but are not what got you here. And we're sitting here watching the game last night, and I'm like, oh my God, hit pause. There's a bunch formation on the left side of the field. And what do you know? They run a play out of that and they get like 10 yards out of it. Who knew? It's exactly what we talked about. The only problem is they didn't run that scheme often enough. And I kept saying, not just because I had CMC on Prize Picks and got absolutely piped. No, not because of that. Because every time they would run left with CMC, a pitch or a toss, whatever adjective you want to use, dude, throw it left to him and let him run. Whether it's the screen, whether it's out of the backfield, whatever. Get him out left. Every time they did that, it was 8 to 10 yards. And they only probably did it like, I don't know, less than 10 times last night, for sure. I think probably like 5-6 times that I can remember. So, yeah, I mean, the idea that we're in the fourth quarter and you want to run the ball right when you've got one-on-one coverage outside to the left, it's your guy in a cornerback. I think it was McDuffie.
Yeah.
And you want to run right. Why?
Yeah, and you lost 3 yards on the play.
Like, holy
and
cow.
Kansas City was out of gas halfway through the third quarter, and you just never went back to the run until it was too late and Kansas City had taken the lead. And then you have the gaff on the punt return, and it's an impossible play. We can all blame the rookie that got hit with the ball by the 49ers for the 49ers. That's an impossible play. You're never going to hear the alert to get out of the way. Like, you're never going to hear that stuff. And it was a fortuitous bounce for the Kansas City Chiefs, and they won the game. But the San Francisco 49ers, if you are a 49er fan, your worst fears became reality because Kyle Shanahan cost you the Super Bowl, period. And again, it has nothing to do with whether he took the opening kickoff in overtime. It doesn't matter to me. That third quarter is why the San Francisco 49ers are not Super Bowl champions. We all get obsessed with that overtime thing. Great. The third quarter play calling killed this football team. And it didn't even as much as keep the Chiefs or give the Chiefs opportunities. It kept them from falling further behind. So they were able to use their entire playbook. It should never have gone to overtime. You should have been far more aggressive with Christian McCaffrey. And we're talking about a 49er Super Bowl win, period. End of story. That's as simple as it is. And yet Kyle Shanahan tried to do, I'm not sure what, when you were dominating with Christian McCaffrey off left tackle. That's all you had to do. Those sweeps and those toss plays, I thought were working magic for the 49ers. I felt like they were absolutely chunking the Chiefs. They were getting 3 to 6 yards per carry on that. Now, sure, you got to run between the A's, but outside of that, they were dominating, absolutely dominating, even with the Deebo Samuel plays. And when he got hurt, I felt like Kyle Shanahan changed the playbook a little bit, and Jennings got far more opportunities, obviously. But where was George Kittle? Where were the routes to get George Kittle the football? The guy had 4 receiving yards the entire game. The entire game. Granted, the 4 yards was a huge first down, but you never got George Kittle involved in this. You never tried. You never schemed. I just thought it was a complete failure. on the part of the 49ers. Now, as far as Patrick Mahomes goes, Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid win their third Super Bowl together. This is a dynasty. There's no question about that. You cannot question the greatness of the Kansas City Chiefs. Patrick and Andy, I think, are phenomenal. But we need to stop this thing where we rip the New England Patriots, Tom Brady and Bill Belichick, so that we can prop up Patrick Mahomes. Like, we need to stop doing that. You're talking about a completely different era of football, and you're talking about a coach and a player that are elite unto themselves. Why do we have such a hard-on for comparing one to the other in this world?
Well, I think we just like to, it's just what we all love to do. I mean, whether it's football, basketball, baseball, hell, even hockey. I mean, we get these comparisons of like modern day guy chasing down history. And I think that's the storyline of sports fans we love. We love being able to say, hey, this guy is chasing down what this guy did 20 years ago, because what that guy did 20 years ago is the bar. And by the way, I just want to point out, they're only halfway there, man. But on the other side of the coin, they're halfway there. And I think, what is Pat, 28 years old, I think he is, or whatever it is. So they're in a great place. But I think that you have to be like, you have to have some respect for how different the game was when Tom played, meaning that it was much more physical than it is now in terms of quarterbacks being hit and the abuse you take. I still maintain that Tom Brady showed that he could do more with less. And I think Pat's going down that road now. We can put the Tyreek Hill nonsense to bed, right? We can put the hey, he doesn't have a superstar wide receiver nonsense to bed. He figured it out. They figured it out. And honestly, the last night's game, Patrick Mahomes obviously deserves a ton of credit for that final drive where they win the game, of course.
Yeah.
But I feel like last night's game really came down to Andy Reid and like you said, Kyle Shanahan. I felt like when it came down to it, Andy Reid was just more prepared. This corn dog play to win the game. Like, that's a great play.
The Mahomes
there,
runs.
Dude. The Mahomes
the design runs
yes,
were really smart. And the problem is that the first half and the fourth quarter, you did anything you wanted to do, the 49ers did. I thought the Chiefs defense was out of shape and not prepared for what the 49ers brought offensively. So the scheme in general, I thought, by the 49ers and Kyle Shanahan was really good design. Andy Reid just outplay called Kyle Shanahan. And I think out-executed him, especially coming out of the third quarter break. I thought the fourth quarter, the Chiefs just executed at a much better level.
Mm-hmm.
And those design runs by Patrick Mahomes were sensational. Absolutely sensational. But I don't know how you, and I don't mean to keep going back to it. You dominated this Chiefs defense for long swaths of the game. Like the Chiefs had to blitz. They were in a position where in the first half they could not blitz. And you gave them the ability to blitz you in the fourth quarter by the way that you play called in the third. Like, it's mind-numbing that you dominated this Chiefs defense, which is a really good defense, right? And I think the mistakes that Snead made, the loss of emotional control that he had, opened doors for you. And, like, you had this Chiefs defense on the ropes, on their heels. Like, you dominated them.
Yeah.
And you tried to get cute in the third quarter, and I thought it really cost him.
And it was surprising. That was the biggest thing. Like, you see this type of behavior out of head coaches who, maybe, like the Dan Campbell situations, or like guys who maybe are a little bit inexperienced and, just the moment got them. The moment was a little too big for them. But this isn't Kyle Shanahan's first rodeo in this situation. And I'm a big believer, especially in the NFL. You got to get your best players the football. Get them the football and let them make plays. And keep it simple, man. That offensive line for the 49ers moves really well. We talked about it last week, how athletic they are. Yet we didn't see any of that. Hey, we're going to push everybody to the left or everybody to the right, and we're going to go hat on hat and beat you. We didn't see that really. And a lot of that, is credit to the Chiefs defense, but I just was really surprised. Like, even with Debo's hamstring situation, I was really surprised we weren't getting the Ayuk screen with CMC and Kittle blocking. Where was that last night? Like, where was any of that stuff?
Did not see, and I thought that ESPN did a great job breaking it down after the game. Did not see one single pin down block from George Kittle. Whatever Kyle Shanahan's plan to use George Kittle was, I don't understand it. Like, you just eliminated him from the game plan. There was a highlight package after the game, either on NFL Network, I think it was, where they showed that George Kittle was just wide open and Brock Purdy was never looking at him. There were two routes on the left side of the field. Kittle was standing wide open at one point on the Super Bowl logo. Purdy never looked at him. Now, granted, those two plays went for long completions. The one was that unbelievable throw to Brandon Ayuk.
Mm-hmm.
But I just don't understand how you don't build George Kittle into your offense, especially on those pin down plays. Like they showed a bunch of highlights where you have that formation where there's that bunch on the left and Kittle comes in motion and just collapses the defensive end so that the tackle and guard can pull out and run block. And they never ran that play. Not one single time last night. It's crazy how we talk about the pressure that happens to football players. It's that same thing. Your commitment to the basics of football, which Andy Reid, I thought, was a master at last night, running Pacheco into the line repeatedly, very clearly proved to wear out Bosa mentally, which allowed Mahomes to get that big first down in overtime.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Great play calling. And Kyle Shanahan just didn't have it. But I'm curious about this comparison to the Patriots. And I understand that Patrick Mahomes and really I think you have to put Travis Kelce in there. I think obviously Andy Reid, but this group led by Patrick Mahomes is a dynasty. There's no way to say it. He's got 3 rings. He's got 3 MVPs. They're all coming back next year. I think Travis Kelce, we'll see how long he can continue to labor, because that's what this was. I think that moment where he ran into Andy Reid on the sideline and yelled at him was an absolute moment of I don't even, it was as impactful as any moment in the game.
Yeah.
Because it got Travis Kelce into the game plan. And I think when you see that Travis Kelce wants to be on the field and Andy Reid wanted him off the field or called a personnel package without him, that never happened again throughout the game. And again, I give all the credit in the world to ESPN for pointing this out. That moment was an absolute game changer, and it's what you count on veterans for. And yelling at him, now the running into him obviously was too much, but they clearly have a coach-player relationship that allows that to happen without some massive meltdown.
Yeah.
And Andy Reid's experience and mental toughness, I thought really was on peak display there, because he easily could have gone back at Travis. He easily could have exiled Travis, but you're not going to do that to somebody of that stature. And I think Travis Kelce, what do you have, 90-something yards? It's a huge part of that second half.
And I think the passion, showing that type of passion early in the game is imperative. And I think that, early in this game, it was a little surprising how slow the Chiefs started offensively. And I think that's why Travis Kelce, did that, because they were not doing anything. I mean, the end of the first quarter gets here and we're 0-0. And the Chiefs haven't really done a damn thing.
Very conservative.
Yeah. Like, so I'm sitting here like, all right, like, yeah, the 49ers defense was obviously fresh and playing well. And, they were getting home with a 4-man rush. And, obviously on the broadcast, they're showing the shell coverage they were playing. Like, yeah, they were making it difficult on Patrick Mahomes. No question about it. But the idea that Travis Kelce had in his head, like, hey, I need to do something here to get Andy Reid going, to get the play calling improved. And then he goes and does it. And what do we get? So it's a great play. And sometimes you need those plays, but I think there's no question about it. I mean, when I compare this team to those Patriots teams, the thing that really stands out to me the most is just the caliber of domination that you get. Like, hey, it's go time. It's winning time in the Super Bowl. We got to have this 4th down. And we decided to call a quarterback run with Patrick Mahomes. That was one of the most clutch play calls that I've seen. Brilliant offensive thoughts there to to run him when you haven't run him all game, and Bosa's been keeping him in the pocket all night, and you go and get that first down, and that leads to you winning the game. So, yeah, I mean, I look at it and I say, yeah, this team is just as dominant as those teams were.
Yeah, and I have a lot of respect for Andy Reid. I mean, just the ability to call those plays, to execute as a head coach and a play caller in the biggest moments is very difficult to do. To be committed to the run with McKinnon last night over and over again, I thought was really wise. And then I just go back to the formula I've talked about all season long: quarterback, prolific tight end, garden variety running back. That's what wins you Super Bowls. I mean, and obviously you have to have the defensive players, and the difference between the Chiefs and the 49ers in personnel is very marginal. I mean, you're probably more talented defensively in San Francisco. Offensively, the difference is the quarterback, although congratulations to Brock Purdy. I thought he played an excellent game. I thought he shut up all the haters and the doubters. And can Brock Purdy do it? There's no question he can do it, and he did it. And I'm really happy for him. But obviously, Patrick Mahomes on offense is the difference maker, because defensively, the 49ers are better than the Chiefs. I think offensively, you are Kittle and Kelsey are very similar weapons. I look at the running backs in this game. It's shocking that Kyle Shanahan didn't lean on CMC more. I thought the Jennings throwback, you want to talk about details. You had a backup right guard make the most important play for the 49ers in the Super Bowl.
Facts.
If he does not chip, and I think it was McDuffie running for the pick six there on Jennings' throwback to CMC. If that guard does not chip McDuffie going to that football, it's over. The Chiefs are going to win the Super Bowl going away. Yet he did, and CMC scores.
Mm-hmm.
And I just thought it was a really critical moment. And I think that these two teams are incredibly even. I think they earn their way to this, but the Chiefs are just a little better because it always comes down to the quarterback.
Absolutely.
And it's why Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen are not there. It's no different than Jordan in his generation. It's no different than Tiger in his generation. Patrick Mahomes is the dominant player in the NFL right now. And you have two very even teams last night, and the quarterback made the difference for the Chiefs. And I really give all the credit in the world to Andy Reid for really dialing up play calling in the fourth quarter and overtime. That was a virtuoso performance by Andy Reid.
Yeah, the ability to diagnose what the defense is doing, or even further than that, what the defense is like expecting, almost keying on, like what they're playing, like hedging towards. And then to be able on a 4th and 1, and I know it's only 1 yard, but the game ends if you don't get it. To be able to call the quarterback run there like that is insane football IQ. And I look at the Chiefs and moving forward, you know, the only two guys that I would like to see match up against them, and obviously we're going to get it, is the Chargers. I'd like to see what that Charger team becomes and just how much they can push the Chiefs. And then, of course, Joe Burrow in Cincinnati. Joe Burrow being hurt this year,
got to be healthy,
you know, is crushing. And yeah, your best ability is your availability. And I think Joe Burrow is really the only other guy that I can think of in the AFC that would, you know, make any type of challenge towards Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, I'm curious where the Chiefs go here, because you're going to have to reload offensively. You're going to have to upgrade your wide receiver slots. I mean, you got some Hardman, Valdez-Scantling, Kadarius Toney. Those are all guys you need to upgrade. And obviously, you know, Mecole Hardman made an incredible play to win the Super Bowl with that catch. But you've got to give Patrick Mahomes, coming into now the back half of his prime, you've got to give him better weapons. And you have a tight end in Travis Kelce that can really play still, I think. But you've got to give him better weapons offensively, because if you can get them over the hump, and he again, I just don't see that they ever replace Tyreek Hill, and you're still winning without him.
Yeah.
But if you can get a top off the defense guy, man, this offense is way better.
And that's the crazy part. And I feel like that's what when they called the quarterback run, that was what you needed to get those linebackers to come forward. Because once the linebackers came forward, you had so much more space to operate. And I know it was only like 30 yards to the end zone at that point, but all night they had been sitting, 7-8 yards away from the line of scrimmage instead of 4 or 5.
Yeah.
And that makes all the difference in the world. And so, yeah, I mean, you would think that they'd be able to go out and get somebody, a difference making wide receiver to put out wide.
You need a Justin Jefferson. You need think of the best receivers in the NFL. You need that guy.
Yeah.
And it'll be interesting to see. I think at San Francisco, man, I don't know where you go from here because you have all these weapons. Brandon Ayuk is an elite wide receiver. I don't know what you do with George Kittle at this point. Obviously, he was hurt late in the game. He was a non-factor. You just did not scheme for him. I don't know if you've lost confidence in him. I think that you wasted Christian McCaffrey in that third quarter. And so I ask myself, you have this elite defense. You have this great quarterback now that I think there's no doubt you can build on, and he will continue to improve. But it's the play calling.
Mm-hmm.
So are you just going to re-rack this? Are you going to, because the offensive line is solid now. I mean, you're going to have to, your left tackle's
got to be better.
You're a Hall of Famer, and you're false starting, and you're
holding.
Unbelievable. And I just don't know where you go from here. These losses are devastating. I mean, the idea that I just cannot believe that you did not run the football.
Yeah, I just don't know why the idea was, hey, we're going to go away from Christian McCaffrey running behind 3 of our best players on the outside. And that's what I couldn't get away from. Like, the Chiefs defense, while yes, it has speed, it's not fast enough to get to CMC before he's got 5 yards down the field.
Your offensive skill players are more talented than their linebackers and corners.
Yes.
Chris Jones, obviously, that interior was tired. I mean, they made great plays in overtime that did not allow Brock time to throw the football, which ultimately was a difference maker. But I'm just really surprised that Kyle Shanahan could not gather himself enough to make it's shocking.
Yeah.
It is really shocking that I don't know. And again, the model is quarterback, tight end, good, not great running backs. That's the model in this league.
Yeah.
And I think every elite team has that. Whether you look at the best teams, they all have really good tight ends and quarterback combinations. Whether it is now Lamar, obviously that's a different question. That's a different conversation. Yeah. But you look at the elite teams in the league this year, and they all had it. They all had it. And I just don't know what you do if you're the 49ers, because I still think George Kittle can play. I do. I think you have a really dominant defense. You have a really, I think, young, growing, maturing quarterback, and just really terrible play calling. And I hate to keep going back to that.
Yeah, but it's why you lost. I mean, there's no way around it, dude. You were more talented than the Chiefs were, and you still lost. There's no getting around it.
I don't know, man. It'll be really interesting to see how all this plays out with the Niners. But I thought it was a great Super Bowl. I thought the halftime show was fantastic.
Yeah, we need to stop hating on Usher and company, dude. Like Usher, Ludacris, Lil Jon, Alicia Keys.
Anybody that thought that was a bad halftime show doesn't know music.
Yeah.
And I understand that a lot of people are not, hip hop and R&B fans. Usher put on a show last night. And I thought that Luda and Lil Jon coming out was the crescendo. Alicia Keys, My Boo, the song that Alicia Keys did is My Boo, and she was, bro,
sensational.
She is My God. How are there not more children in her life?
I'm for real.
Wow. Wow. She was amazing. I just thought the Her was really good too.
Yeah.
On the guitar solo, the artist's name is Her. Like, she was great. I just thought the whole thing was awesome.
I also need to say this. Why do we need to do like all these different renditions of the national anthem? Can't we just have Reba stand there and sing an OG national anthem?
Do you know how many people lost money on the timing of that Super Bowl because she just won't shut?
Like, man.
First of all, if you're going to have that much plastic surgery, Reba, really probably wear a mask or a hood. That would really help us all be able to watch the national anthem. If I want to see the Joker, I'll watch The Dark Knight. Second of all, Post Malone, dude, I love your music. Why did you tattoo your face? Like, what was it? A moment of clarity afterward where you were like, damn, I don't know what you were doing. I don't know what you were doing there. Like, that was gnar, bro.
Yeah.
He song was America the Beautiful was good, but I didn't know jeans could be that too small for somebody to put them on. Post.
Yeah.
What the fuck are you, Ranger Rick?
I mean, do you not have a twig and berries down there that you're
twig and berries,
able,
dude?
You're able to be in that small of a crotch of a jean? I mean, I don't know what was worse, the crotch of his jeans or, Joker face singing the national anthem. Like, that was unbelievable. That was unbelievable.
Joker face.
Look, Reba. It's Reba, y'all. Nobody cares. Nobody cares.
Schemers trying to control their little world.
We get it. They're going to run 1,000 commercials for your flip the chair around and give somebody a talent show thing.
Me?
But your face is fucked. Like, I don't know. I don't know. Dude. With all due respect. Is there somebody standing behind you?
With all due respect.
Like, do you have fishing wire that goes to the back of your head and somebody's standing behind you just pulling that fishing wire so you can smile? Because your face is dead. Like, I don't know what happened to you. You should get a refund from the plastic surgeon. Bro. Seriously. That or just play like.
Better send those refunds.
Again, and I'm asking for myself. Has anybody ever seen Jack Nicholson's Joker and Reba McEntire in the same room? I have, in the same place at the same time, in the same zip, in the same country at the same time. I'm going to say you haven't. You've never seen Jack Nicholson's Joker. But trust me when I say I don't believe it was Jack Nicholson. I think it was Reba McEntire.
Reba?
Because that face is just, I mean, I did not know that somebody could get hit by a 10-ton bulldozer and survive.
Who is that guy?
Okay.
Apologize to that man.
And Post Malone's jeans, that hurt my...
Yeah, that was awkwardly tight, dude. Like, I don't know how Buddy got into this.
You guys understand that Post Malone's package was trending on Twitter?
I don't know.
Because it looks so uncomfortably tight. And all of us dudes, listen, I wear a size 15 shoe, and I understand I could fit inside of a thimble, all of it. And I'm just like, okay. But even I cannot wear pants that tight. I cannot.
I didn't understand why we went the route of country when the Super Bowl is in Las Vegas. And I understand, hey, maybe it's because
Viva?
Usher is doing the halftime show, and that caters to a little bit different of an audience. And so we need to go, country music, low key to start the game, I guess. I don't know. But I'm telling you, there's nothing like when we get like military personnel or someone who can flat out sing the damn national anthem. That song is meant for someone with pipes. Like, if Alicia Keys is singing the national anthem, I'm here for it. Like, if she's doing an OG rendition, I'm here for it. But I'm not here for Fergie at the All-Star game, like just absolutely trashing the national anthem. And that's what I feel like we got last night.
I need somebody who doesn't look like a cartoon character to come out and belt out the national anthem.
I need Buddy from the United Center when the Hawks play in the playoffs.
I need somebody with pipes to come out and smash it.
Yes.
And what was it? Now, I admit that I am not hip and I am not cool.
Right.
My wife had to explain to me what BOTUS was.
BOTUS?
Beyonce of the United States.
What?
I thought the commercials were pretty good. I don't understand BOTUS. Now, I am also not somebody who understands the greatness of Beyonce. I understand you're married to Jay-Z, and that takes you a long way. Mommy, she was hot and hip before Jay-Z. Okay.
She's got music, dude. She's
whatever
got a strong music
gets
catalog.
you through the day and allows you to sleep at night. Jay-Z, you know. And I don't mean Justin Zanuck. I mean like actually
the real Jay-Z.
Yeah. I don't understand the Beyonce hype. I don't get it. Is she hot? Is she talented? Overwhelmingly. But is she just
hot.
like,
I think she's classy. I think she's elegant.
Are you kidding me?
What? She's elegant, man. She's a good-looking lady, but she's not hot the same way that some of the other individuals at the Super Bowl were.
Have you seen her hips?
Okay.
Are you kidding me right now?
So you just said you don't understand the greatness of Beyonce, but now you're sitting here dying on the hill that she's hot.
Yes. She's amazing. I'm just not like, oh my God, BOTUS. I gotta go. I'm going home to get that BOTUS tonight, bitches. Like, I don't get it.
Dilly.
Yeah. BOTUS was trending on Twitter, and I was like, what did Dementia Donnie do now?
Dementia Donnie.
And speaking of which,
Dude.
Did you guys see what is this, Joe?
Joe?
What is this?
Joe?
This is a real tweet from Joe Biden.
Infowars.com.
Or at least his staff and stuff. About the Super Bowl.
I thought this was funny, but
I thought it was a massive troll job. But you just lost your shit over a special counsel's report yesterday, and today we're tweeting about how Taylor Swift and make up your mind, Joe, if you still have a mind. Make up your mind about what, because this right here ain't it. Like, what is Joe Biden doing? He's giving breath to, Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce are Democratic Party operatives.
My guy over here last night during the game is getting texts from certain individuals who are like, okay, they showed Taylor Swift and now the Chiefs fumbled. And that was 3 plays in a row where they showed Swift and there was a turnover. Like, guys, come on, dude.
Are we really? How were you okay with the Taylor Swift ratio as it was being called last night?
Yes, I thought they did a good job. I thought it was not too much. I thought it was really interesting, the dichotomy of individuals standing there with Taylor Swift. Really pleased to see Blake Lively on the TV.
Oh,
that
so
was
was
nice.
I.
That was very nice.
And if Blake Lively could jump up and down in celebration of Chiefs plays more often,
yes, that'd be
appreciated. But
yes.
I was pleasantly surprised that there was no Swelsey sighting on the podium. I was pleasantly surprised that we didn't have to see that ridiculous wreck of humanity, Brittany Mahomes, more than just for like 3 minutes. Like, I thought they handled it. Now, the Chiefs post party where Travis Kelce and like Taylor Swift were vacuum sealing their mouths and tongues together. Hey, man. Okay, you're at a party. I'm good with that. I just appreciated they ratioed Taylor Swift coverage last night so that it wasn't at a nauseating level.
I love the fact that on Twitter we get things like the Taylor Swift ratio.
Dude, I didn't need the Taylor Swift ratio.
Yeah, I thought they did a good job, though. I thought they showed her enough. Yeah.
They did. All right.
Okay.
How did you end up on Prize Picks last night?
Horrible.
Prize Picks. Oh, I won last night.
Horrible.
You're terrible at Prize Picks.
Dude, Kyle Shanahan is terrible at Prize Picks.
I would agree with that.
Give the damn ball to CMC.
8 yards short on a CMC.
Douche.
Converting on CMC.
Come on.
Prize Picks, the official daily fantasy partner of the Monty Show. I bet 50 to win 31.25 and it cashed last night on Prize Picks. Thank you to my friend Travis Kelce, 59.5. The over on that hit. Kyle Juszczyk, the first play of the game, the over on 4.5 rush receiving yards hit. He finished with 20. Screw you, Isaiah Pacheco, for getting tackled at the 4, which would have won me about 200 last night. But I'm telling you, Prize Picks Daily Fantasy, number one, pitchers and catchers have reported for spring training.
Let's go.
And the Cubs still have not signed a notable free agent because they just won't. Because I think Ryan Smith bought the Cubs, so now we don't.
Are they coming to Salt Lake too?
Spend any money.
Well, I know the Valley's thirsty for Major League Baseball, so you know.
And now the Cubs own a piece of the PGA Tour as well, so that's why the Waste Management Phoenix Open went to shit yesterday.
Dude.
But I'm just telling you, Prize Picks hasn't even gotten going yet. Football, I get it. College football and the NFL are over, boys. And NBA and Major League Baseball on Prize Picks, phenomenal. Lesser extent, golf. Golf is really difficult on Prize Picks, but I love it.
Waste management here in a little while.
We are coming up in 20 minutes. We got to talk about the Waste Management Phoenix Open. Download the Prize Picks app right now. We had a massive amount of Prize Picks downloads for the Super Bowl. You guys, let's go. If you have not downloaded Prize Picks, hook it up right now. Get the app. Go to prizepicks.com. Use the promo code Monty. They're going to give you 100% deposit matching if you use the promo code Monty, M-O-N-T-Y, Monty. Let's get those NBA Prize Picks rolling because I'm telling you, and just pick 3 players. That's it. 3 players, flex pick. You're going to win about 80% of the time, 85% of the time. If you know what you're doing and you're in the God tier, such as and like myself, you'll win about 4 out of 5 plays. If you're not in the God tier,
such as and like myself,
you're not ever going to win because you're terrible at Prize Picks. But it's only your money. It's fine.
Yeah.
You can sleep in my basement.
Whoever really, who's counting?
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay.
McCack.
Now we're about to McCack. We're about to go to the comments section.
Yeah, are we going to choose violence in the comments section today?
Don't mess it up today, please.
Yeah, we'll see. Scott of Greywater Watch. Kelsey committed elderly abuse with no repercussions.
What are you talking about, man?
I think, and I know that I've been involved in this happens all the time. Yeah. What happened between Travis Kelce and Andy Reid is not a big deal. That was blown up into something that it clearly was not.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think Andy Reid had any problem with it. I really don't. I truly do not. OG Gary, I watched a total of 10 minutes of the Super Bowl. Well, we appreciate you coming to the show.
Why did you not watch it? I think it's a fair question. So you're the one. You were too busy watching Arizona football practice. Is that what it was?
That must be it. Dakota Tubbs. The Chiefs are all about bend, don't break defense. No, we mean the Kansas City Chiefs. The Kansas City Chiefs, one of the most prolific blitzing pressure teams in the NFL. They're all about bend, don't break. No touchdowns by the 49ers besides the trick play, and the 49ers dominated? Absolutely. The Chiefs' defensive line was absolutely out of gas.
Yeah.
Done. Out of gas. And you look at the first 2.5 quarters of the game where the Chiefs got zero push.
Mm-hmm.
The interaction on the sideline that had more impact was Spagnuolo and Andy Reid arguing over blitzes and why they couldn't blitz. And very clearly, you had Spagnuolo saying, we can't do that. You had a defensive line that was standing around watching the 49ers and could not get to Brock Purdy for 2.5 quarters. And then inexplicably, Kyle Shanahan stopped running the football, which I just don't understand.
Yeah, we're watching highlights here on ESPN.
The San Francisco 49ers offensive line dominated that Chiefs front four.
Yeah.
Dominated them. And you stopped running the football in the third quarter.
And on the other side, the 49ers defensive line was getting home repeatedly. With 4 down linemen.
I think specifically your third down play calls were as bad as I have seen the 49ers all year. They have a pile of third down plays, especially third and less than 4, which they were in pretty much all night last night. And you ran Like, this is a team that road grades you left.
Mm-hmm.
3rd and 3, you run B gap right and lost 2 yards. And the best part is, like, Jones doesn't even have to move. Christian McCaffrey, they hand him the ball, and he ran right into the B gap. Like, you need 4 yards and you're running into the B gap? When you average 6 yards of play on the toss sweep left? Craziness. Absolute craziness. Let's see. Mike Smith. Travis was yelling at Andy to let him on the field so Swifty could see him make a play.
Oh, that's what it was.
Yeah, I probably don't think that's it. Pat looked clutch for the 10. I thought Patrick Mahomes was brilliant in the 4th quarter and overtime.
Yeah.
Those design runs where you give him the option to pitch it or run, he's unstoppable.
Lethal.
Unstoppable. Greenlaw's injury changed the game, to a lesser extent. I mean, he was, and if you didn't see it, Dre Greenlaw tore his Achilles tendon coming back onto the field, but he is a critical performer for that defense. I don't think it changed the game. Their defense did not struggle until the late 4th quarter. The extra point, I mean, that's the missed extra point. Did that cost the 49ers the game? Probably not. Probably not. It changed. It allowed the Chiefs to keep the playbook open because you have a lethal kicker in Kansas City. It allowed the Chiefs to keep the playbook open.
Yeah, and I think for the 49ers, the other thing is the areas of concern headed into the game, your kicker, your quarterback, making mistakes like that. Those two largely were pretty reliable for you. I thought Brock Purdy had a great game.
I thought he was very solid.
I thought Jake Moody made some big kicks for you. You had that one that got blocked, and he clearly made that mistake, kicked it way too low. But other than that, I mean, he was pretty good, And if you'd asked me last week, hey, the 49ers are going to lose because why? I wouldn't have said, yeah, Kyle Shanahan's going to stop going left out of bunch formations. Yeah, that one wasn't high up the list, yet here we are talking about it. And that's where I say in the NFL so many times, I feel like I said it all season long, do what you do and do it at a high level. Your best play out left is better than what they can do on defense. Yet you go away from it. I just couldn't believe it.
It is remarkable that they stopped running left, especially on third down late in the game. I just to go away from it altogether for the 3rd quarter, come back to it for most of the 4th quarter, and then stop running left. It's incredible.
Because you had an opportunity. If you're the 49ers, you had an opportunity to put that game away. You are up 3 and you had the ball, and there was like 4.5 minutes left or whatever it was. And all you had to do was run the clock out, which, again, I don't know why you were passing in that situation. You should have been running. But all you had to do was run that clock down.
Yeah.
And you got it down to the 2-minute warning, and there was like 1:56 left, and he got the ball back, and we all knew that was way too much time.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, man. If I'm Kyle Shanahan, I'm probably kicking myself this morning. No question about it.
Yeah, I think you probably do not want to go back and watch that 3rd quarter. Harry Austin said the guard Spencer Buford is from UTSA with the key block. Go Runners.
Guys.
Special teams is what hurt the 49ers. Blocked extra point.
Hi, this is James. Welcome back.
Mistake on the punt return. You have to excel in all 3 areas. I don't think it's a mistake on the punt return. I don't know how you avoid that. And it's been much bandied about. Obviously, it's going to happen more because of this play in the Super Bowl. There's no way to avoid that guy getting hit by that kick. It is, you can say that the returner was very clearly yelling. You can't hear it in a Super Bowl stadium. You feel terrible for the guy that got hit by the ball, but that's not why they lost the game. It ultimately, it played a part in them losing the game very clearly because they went down and scored on the Valdez-Scantling touchdown. But, you just feel like the Chiefs executed in critical moments. And I think really they just had a better game plan in critical moments because Andy Reid is a legend.
Yeah, I thought that the play calling in overtime for the 49ers was still
Too conservative.
Yeah, just like average, conservative, nothing special type stuff. And I that's to me why you lost in overtime. You lost because, again, not to be a broken record, you just went away from what you do. And when you do that, you're gonna lose. And so what did the Chiefs do? The Chiefs did what they had to do. The Chiefs didn't go away from what they do or do what they do. They just did what they had to do. And whether that was Mahomes running or running corn dog to win the game, or, Butker hitting from, I think it was 57, like, you did what you had to do. And that's the difference.
And they deserve a lot of credit for that.
Yeah.
And Donuts, there was something wrong with Kittle. Lingering issue, maybe. He did make a trip to he had a shoulder injury at the end of the game. But you can't just not throw him the foot. If he would not have been out in the route if he could not catch the football.
Mm-hmm.
And clearly they threw him the football on one of their biggest plays of the game. He was healthy enough to play. I think, and I'm probably making too much out of it because, again, the two plays where they showed him wide open, Ayuk made one play and Jennings made another. So it's hard to say, well, you should have thrown him the ball because you made two really critical plays when you didn't. But it's a little surprising that a guy that's carried you wasn't part of the game plan. That was surprising to me. Boyd Lake, Shanahan got away from using McCaffrey for a bit, and it cost the 49ers. It did. There's no doubt about it. Absolutely. Mad Cat, good morning, Monty Crew. That was a game where both teams were even in all categories. Yeah.
They weren't even on the sideline, dude.
I thought Kyle Shanahan had a really bad third quarter. And then, the play in overtime, I always believe in deferring. The exactly what Tony Romo said, which I thought Tony Romo had a pretty good call last night, but I thought he made a really good point. You want the football third in overtime. And, hey, if I go down and score a touchdown, they got to match me, and then I know that I got to beat them. Okay, I get that way of thinking. But your defense had dominated for long stretches of that game. Give them the football and play defense. And I think he just didn't do it. I don't know that they didn't lose the game because of that. But all of these cumulative issues, whether it is on the punt, with Homie getting hit in the foot on the punt, whether it is terrible play calling in the third, whether it is the missed extra point, you can't have these issues, 3-4 issues in a game and expect to win that game against an elite coach.
Yeah.
I think that's really what it comes down to. Boyd Lake. So why did Kelsey assault Andy Reid? That was weird. No one likes this whiner version of Travis Kelce. I don't think he's a whiner at all. I think Andy Reid should have had him in the game and did not. Should have had him in the game. And a critical block was missed, and it led to a turnover. And I think that's what Kelsey was upset about.
Yeah.
Notice what happened after that. Their offense was much better and much more cohesive. And I think it probably woke him up a little bit. So, what's up? Gumby Fresh Out says first. Of course. Every day. Of course. Yeah. Every day.
Yeah.
Dalton Kincaid, Brant Keithy, Bowers, all amazing tight ends that will help someone win. Well, Dalton Kincaid's already helping the Bills. I don't know. Brant Keithy's got to stay healthy, and he's got to show he can stay healthy.
Facts.
That's Brock Bowers. We'll see what he turns into. We'll see. But there is no doubt that currently the blueprint to win big games in the NFL is quality quarterback and a tight end. That combination really works. And you have to have multiple. You either have to have superstar talent outside or multiple talent outside.
Exactly.
And I think that the Chiefs are not very talented in the skill position. In skill positions, especially comparatively speaking, Pacheco and McKinnon are not on most other rosters special performers. On this roster, they're pretty special performers.
Well, and I think your point about, coaching up mediocre backs, like having 3 or 4 backs that can be, what, 400-yard backs probably for a season, 500-yard backs maybe, but having a couple of those guys that, when you need them to, will bulldoze a few guys and like will make plays. Like it's like what you said about that throwback across play where they get the chip, right? Like that type of detail is what you're looking for out of running backs in pass pro, what you're looking for out of running backs who are going out to the flat. Like you don't need them to be like Hall of Fame caliber guys. I don't need Walter Payton back there making dudes look silly.
But you can't beat Kadarius Toney.
Exactly.
You need Pacheco to catch and run the football. You can't fumble. You need Mecole Hardman to make that corn dog route catch. He did. You need Marquez Valdez Scantling to run a good, not great route. He did.